I started this painting at the beginning of June, and here we are finally finishing it a couple months later. I'm going to talk about what slowed me down, some of the experiences during the process, and so much more, including the story of how I got the original photo. All of that included in this video today. It's going to be a little bit more relaxed, so I hope you guys just are able to settle down, get a little drink, maybe a little treat, and just enjoy with me. And let's talk about the process of painting this barn.
Sorry, that is amazing. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I love it.
And if you guys can, and if you guys have the materials available, feel free to join me. I would love to have a little partner to paint with. Anyways, without further ado, let's hop right in. Starting by prepping the whole entire canvas with classic Azo Gold from the brand Golden. But you could use probably something like a burnt sienna or a raw umber, those kind of colors. This is a perfect tone to start with, and honestly, I love it. One of my favorites, and it really creates a different vibe about the whole entire painting, kind of a little filter over everything that I do. Kind of feels signature. I don't know. I really love it. But let's hop into it. Okay, we have prepped the canvas. We've graphed up. We are now sketching the picture. So this is really exciting because this painting is actually pretty meaningful to me in a lot of ways, more than one. The first being that just a couple of years ago, actually about, how long ago was it? 3.5 years ago? No, longer. Oh my goodness, what the heck? Time goes by fast. Let me know if you agree in the comments. I know you all do. I probably left about 5 to 6 years ago on a miraculous trip, or should I say mission, to a place I'd never been before. This was the first time I left my family, left my friends, and for the most part I cut contact with everybody so that I could actually go serve in the community of Spokane, Washington. But within this area I also got to serve in other places. So this barn in particular was in kind of a further out area that I was in charge of ministering to, and it was called Northport, which is just 5 miles south of the Canadian border, at least where I was living, which was right next to this barn. And we had a couple houses in that area, and we traveled a lot, so we had to have a few houses or places to live. I don't know if I'd call some of them houses, but the first was just a little trailer. It was a fifth wheel trailer. Then we had kind of a shack. It didn't have a door. It was right next to the Columbia River, just on the other side of the river, actually. And then there was Northport, which actually this one was in the fifth wheel trailer area. So, and then we had one main home, which was in a place or a small town called Colville. So we had a lot of places that we had to go visit and work with. And I love coming here the most. This is probably the most nostalgic painting to me. We would drive every weekend or every other weekend, just to kind of depend on how busy we were going to be in one area or the other. And we would drive up here, take like an hour and a half to get here from where we normally lived, our main base of operation. And we would go and visit a family. We would teach them a lesson, minister to them, serve with them. We'd work on their farm with them, and then they would let us stay in their fifth wheel trailer, which was so nice of them. It was really kind. We would have had nowhere else to stay had they turned us down. And it's not like we could just drive anywhere. We were kind of limited on our miles because, money, it's not like we're making money from what we were doing. So that was really cool. So this was a special painting. And then the other reason was my wife absolutely loved it. She thought it was the most beautiful painting. Kind of reminded her of a couple of her homes, actually, because she's from all over the place, being from a Navy family. So this reminded her of maybe some things, a little bit of Montana, Washington, maybe some other places. I'm not too sure, but she definitely loved this one. So it became very apparent that I needed to paint it. Now, to give you guys a little heads up, you always start with just kind of covering all your highlights with white, and that's the reflections, that's the sky, that's the grass, that's anything you want to stand out. You want to cover that with your whites, which is what I'm doing. It's a repeated process you do over and over and over again, this whole painting. It's partly why this painting took so long. It's because everything is built off of several layers. This is how you get the most detail out of a painting. This is exactly how Rembrandt painted. I also painted my Christ portrait the same exact way. If you guys haven't seen that there's a lot more insight into how that process works. But you can see clearly here, I'm going in with lots and lots of white, and I'm over lapping everything that I do over and over and over again, which for a lot of you guys watching, maybe it feels a little repetitive, but it's extremely necessary. And if you guys are painting along with me, try it out. You don't have to, but try it out. Getting a little bit out of your comfort zone is a great way to go. It's kind of like, I saw a video literally this morning, and the guy was talking about surfing. I know nothing about surfing, but he was saying the more and more you fight against the wave, the more and more it fights against you, right? It's the law of gravity, right? The more you push against something, it'll push back. So just flow with it. Flow with it. See what happens. Do the most uncomfortable things. Don't resist. Go with the waves, right? And that's exactly what I was doing. Okay, another thing. Actually, debating whether or not I should even share this, but I'm going to share it anyways, because why not? But as I was painting this, I always like to paint in a classroom setting, which is my mom's art class. And every time I bring this painting back, one of my really good friends, I actually am very grateful for him, really cool guy. He came up to me and he would be like, Gabe, why aren't you done yet? Doesn't your mom always say more art faster? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're totally right. You were totally right. But I'm like, you can't rush perfection. I try and justify it. But look at that. It looks really good right here. But he would come at me all the time. Look at the reference. Beautiful. So obviously it's not 100% accurate, but it looks pretty close. And I liked it. But anyways, it kind of reminded me, even though he is a friend, it kind of reminded me of that one story from the book Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, where essentially Marcus Aurelius, he's this emperor and he's a servant, and the servant always would come up to him and say, you're just a man, you're just a man. And that's kind of like my friend here coming up behind me and says, why aren't you done? Shouldn't you be done? Doesn't your mom teach more art faster? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're right. And so it pushes me to get better and to do more. And I got very competitive. I'm not a competitive person, but I got very competitive. And at a certain point, I just really started to rush it. But you can see I'm redoing everything over and over and over again. And now it's starting to come into place. I believe that from where the footage is recording right now, this is like the last week I was working on this painting. Now, don't get me wrong, I do have to go back in this painting and touch up on a couple things, but I'm fine posting it here because you can't see what I have to touch up on in these videos. So I'm going to show you guys the final result right here. That's kind of what it's looking like, and there's a little bit more to do, but it's pretty close. But yeah, I'm going to be hanging up in our living room. It's going to be sitting there next to a couple of other country pieces. One painting from my mom, who actually taught me everything about art. She painted one, she put it in our house, and then I've got one that I did for my wife while I was dating her back in the day, which is literally a year ago. Kind of crazy, of Glacier. And then there's my Christ painting, and then we're actually going to be working on kind of a cowboy piece. That video will be coming out soon. It's a giant painting, not as big as one of my others, but it is pretty dang big. So you guys won't want to miss that. Look how pretty this is looking. I was kind of conflicted at several points in this painting. I'd done these highlights earlier the same exact way that I'm doing them right now, and I painted over all of them green and yellow so I could have more color. But with that, I realized I had also lost some of that value, right? So I had to go right back in with Titan Buff and bring these kind of dead blades of grass out again, and it actually looked beautiful. Look how much this painting's changed in the process.
Hey everybody, my name is Gabe the Painter. I am so thankful you guys clicked on this video. You guys really don't know what it means to me that you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and that you guys are really supporting the channel as much as you do. Of course, I have the rest of August to create content every single day, except for on Sundays. That's just not my thing, but I really hope you guys join me along the way. I'm doing a lot of these really small pieces here and there, and I hope you guys join me for that as well. This one was done just a couple days ago, and I'm selling it on my Instagram page for just $50. You guys can follow that Instagram page down below in the links. Even if you're not gonna buy anything, that's okay. I'm honestly just trying to get rid of some stuff, but you guys can hop on there, support there, comment, let me know what kind of things you guys want to see me do next, and I'll see you later. See ya.